Superman's next. So let's just go right there. Okay, Superman is the next movie. Jerry, hey, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. What are you saying?
The hot take: the teaser poster and the score on the teaser poster was a better drop than the trailer itself.
This 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
with the whistle and the score, that went hard. Okay, and the trailer was cool, but I think that people are just so excited for DC to be back and James Gunn's vision, and I think that the hype is going to carry a lot of this movie. And I almost don't want to say this because, like, you guys have to understand, we need Superman to kill it. Because if Superman doesn't kill it, the DCU could be dead on arrival. I'm not raining on anyone's parade here. I'm just telling you the truth. Warner Brothers is in a poor, weak position. If the DCU isn't thriving, the whole thing's in jeopardy. So, but at the same time, I care about my integrity, and if I have thoughts, I'm going to tell you, because we also want this show to do well. And, so here's the thing. We didn't learn really much about the movie from the Superman trailer. We saw some shots. We heard some music. We didn't hear really any dialogue other than "Crypto, take me home."
Yeah.
And that was cool and all, but like, we really don't know that much about the movie. And I almost don't want to say this because I can't stand the Snyder cult, but like, when that trailer dropped and they were all posting, the frame by frame comparisons, like, they weren't wrong. And even the Hollywood Reporter made a comment like, what exactly was it? I forget exactly what it was, but they basically said, some of this stuff was like seemed controversial to do for Superman whatever amount of years ago, but now it's okay. It's kind of weird. So the Hollywood Reporter called that out too. And I do wonder, like, and Stevie and I talked about this. I think that it was intentional. I don't think that James Gunn accidentally had so many shots that were so similar to Snyder's Man of Steel. But I don't know what the reason is. I know Stevie has an idea of what he thinks was the reason. I forget what that idea was. Oh, I think it was paying homage. That's what you believe?
Yeah, I think that he was trying to take all elements of what Superman has been in all of his live action adaptations and kind of throwing it all into one.
Right, and it's likely that's the reason, but we really don't know. I would like James Gunn to say something on it, but I don't think he will. And I love James Gunn. I just don't think it's in his best interest to do it. I think that, and maybe that was the reason, and maybe he did that as a way to signal to the Snyder fans, like, hey, I see and respect Snyder's vision. I'm hoping you'll enjoy mine. Maybe that was his way of saying that. We really don't know. I don't think that James Gunn was ill-intended in doing so. I'm just saying I don't know what the reason is because he hasn't come out and said it.
Yeah. So in regards to Superman, I am excited for this movie, and I do think that it's going to be something different. The one thing that I have learned, though, just seeing DC, is that Marvel's marketing machine is crazy. And that's what it's been showing me. Because, like, there's just certain shots of the suit and stuff like that Kevin Feige would never dare show us. You know what I mean? Like when I look at the Captain America costume, right? Like, it's just almost every shot of the costume is golden. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to the small things, like when it comes to the small details, even with the Marvels, right? Yes, the trailer's terrible with the Black Girl magic, all that stuff sucks. But when it comes to small, I'm talking about the Captain Marvel 3 with the whole Captain Marvel 2 with the Black Girl magic, like that's all bad. But when I'm talking about the small things, bro, like when I'm talking about costumes and action shots, like they always land those no matter how bad the film is. You know what I mean? And I think this is a learning curve for James Gunn, is you have to learn how to market your characters the right way. And if I was to take an objective, look at this, and I honestly started thinking about this after you texted me about the whole Snyder thing, because I was like, Jerry, you do have a point. I do think the marketing for the DCU and Superman in general has been very, very messy. And the one thing that you said to me about, Timothy Chalamet, how he's kind of keeping his secrecy, right? I do think that there's a level of secrecy that has to be kept that James Gunn needs to learn. Like, I don't think fans need to know everything, as in development and what's going on, because now when Brave and the Bold gets announced, like, we're going to be happy, but like, I wish he just talked about it like he did in that first video, and then we hear nothing about it from him until he has everything done. You know what I mean? So I think that the Superman rollout hasn't been too great. And I hope that, he learns from this and takes some things that, Feige has done in regards to his rollouts. Like, bro, I mean, after Robert Downey Jr. got announced, he did one article just to clarify that he's playing Victor Von Doom. Haven't heard about it since. Literally haven't heard about it since. And I feel like, but RDJ, Dr. Doom, is very similar to Corn Sweat Superman. There was a division of fandom about these castics. And I think Marvel kind of, pulled RDJ back from the public for that reason, And so I feel like, there, and I'm not saying that's the answer, but there has to be some type of lesson, that can be learned from this rollout.
So I think it's kind of similar to like Kevin Durant on Twitter. I think, and I'm going to share my own experience. Like, I get comments all the time of people like trying to be a smart ass. And it's funny. I learned on Twitter the other day, you could block people and they could still see your tweets.
Yeah, I didn't know
they
that.
Can't. So after you block them, they can't reply. So like, I wrote somewhere, there was like a question about which Batman suit is better. And it was like 2 suits. And I said the Dark Knight suit. And I got like a gajillion likes on it. And I got one wise ass comment. And the guy, he was like, hold on, let me try to find it. Oh, it was so funny. He was, okay. So I said, I was like, the Dark Knight suit, no questions. So someone goes, oh, but it's literally a question. So I just wrote, I meant it's no question to me, genius. I hope that comment gave you the feeling you were looking for. And then I blocked him, so he couldn't say anything. So the conversation was deaded on me sticking it back to him. So that's kind of how you have to treat those people. Anyway, but my point is that sometimes I can't resist but to comment back. And I think James Gunn is like that. Like, I don't think this is all super thought out. And it was like, I'm going to be super transparent with the fans. I think he's just on social media like us, and he gets questions and he's like, God damn it. And he's just firing them up.
Yeah.
And Feige, I don't even know what Kevin Feige's Twitter handle is.
Yeah, he quiet, bro.
I'm sure he has one. And I know he has. I know these celebrities do, because I'm not going to say who, especially because people would lose their minds. But I think I told you this. So one of my best friends got engaged recently. And, like a super famous person that if you went to look for their Instagram, you would never be able to find them. And he has this, like, it's actually a really funny Instagram name if you knew who it was, but you would never know. He's got like 200 followers, 0 posts, and he's literally one of the most famous people on the fucking planet. Okay. I think a lot of people that are high profile like that are on social media because they're also citizens of the United States in 2025. Like, how are you not on social media? But they're not active on their own profile. They're active and they're consuming, but they're not really participating themselves. And I think James Gunn and the DCU would be better off if they did that. But I just don't know if James Gunn, some people aren't that type of person.
Yeah.
Some people are talkers like me. I'm a talker, and I say stuff that sometimes, people are like, oh, shut up, but I'm also not the CEO of DC Studios. I want to say something else, by the way. And I don't know if this is accurate. A lot of these stuff are theories, and I don't like when people push theories as fact, especially something like this. And I hate Trunks. I hate trunks. I don't call them trunks. So I got in a Twitter argument with someone the other day. I did the same thing. I blocked him. And then one of his friends was like, oh, you blocked me, bitch. I was like, no, I blocked you because my last comment was the final nail in the coffin. If you think I blocked you and that makes you win after the conversation we had, you are stupid. Anyway, the poster, if you look at the poster, Steve, could you hold up the poster, please?
The Superman one?
Yeah. You know what's missing? You can't see the trunks. So a lot of people were saying that, people have been saying since the first photo that came out where, Superman was kind of battered down, sitting in his apartment, and there was the orb in the air. People said from the get-go with that photo, they're hiding the trunks. They're embarrassed of the trunks. Okay. A lot of them saying that were people like, and he probably hates me, but Aaron Fisher, you are my favorite of the Snyder cult. I like talking with you. You're not a woke snowflake like some of the others, so we can talk with you. And I appreciate your commentary, even though you probably can't stand me. And I think that, but he was like, they're hiding the trunks. They're hiding the trunks. They keep saying that. And Aaron's been saying this from day one. But now a lot of other people are saying it. And I don't know if they have a point or not. And I think that with James Gunn, who's someone who is obviously so online, he's definitely seen the people who said they're not. And he knows who Aaron Fisher is because Aaron lost his mind when he didn't get the Creature Commandos. When people got Creature Commandos to watch before it came out, Aaron tweeted at James Gunn. He was like, "How come you didn't get, bro? Come on, you're knocking him all day long."
Facts. He don't like him. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, man. Anyway, but there's no way that James Gunn hasn't seen people say, "Oh, they're hiding the trunks," and then they put the poster out that's kind of hiding the trunks. And I haven't reviewed the trailer since I've heard this, but I hate trunks. I really do. I hate trunks. I don't think they're embarrassed of the trunks because if they were embarrassed of it, they wouldn't have done it. Or maybe it's too late and they don't have a choice. I don't know. But I hate the trunks. I do think it's an interesting commentary that people think they're embarrassed of the trunks.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
The other thing is, the other thing with suits is, this is going to be controversial, but the suits don't have to be perfect, okay? Most of the suits are good enough to enjoy the movie, and that's what matters. We're not in a fashion competition. There have been some great suits in the MCU. Most of them have been just mediocre, and no one's really talked about it, okay? So I don't think the suit needs to be perfect. I like the new Superman suit. I hate the trunks. I'm not like, oh, the movie's ruined. He's got underwear over his pants. I think he's going to look stupid with it, but, I still think the movie's going to be great.
Yeah. So this is my philosophy on suits. The suit matters more in the sequel than the first movie. And I say that, right? Batman Begins. The suit is terrible. Oh my God. The next Batman Begins, it's just clunky. He can barely move his head around.
Batman Begins suit.
Yeah, he has to move his whole body around just to turn his head. And that's how we go.
I'm able to knock my favorite stuff. I just wanted to give myself credit for that. Okay.
I'm about to knock the Batman right now. Give me a second.
Let's hear it.
Give me a second. But when we come to the Dark Knight, even though I don't like the all black suit, it still looks better than the Batman Begins costume. It's just better. It's better. And that's why with the Batman, the suit does have flaws. We got to be honest. They got to fix the cowl. We need a chin. We need something to do with that chin. You know what I mean? There's just you got me the cape a little longer, take away the freaking collar that makes it look like it's a turtleneck. There's some changes that need to be made. But in the Batman, the suit that he wore, it fit the movie that he's in. He's not perfect. He has things that he's trying to fix and work on. It makes sense. Yeah, so
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So when it comes to Superman, I'm not really tripping over the costume because this is still, and I'm gonna be very careful when I say this because as much as I want to push Patterson propaganda, I don't want to destroy my integrity while doing that because I troll it, but
at least you admit you push
propaganda. Yeah. No. Oh, you know. I mean, look, because look, I troll on X all the time. Wait, what you want to slap? But I mean, right now we all know the truth. They're probably doing 2, and I'm just gonna gonna be honest. Pattis is probably not gonna be the guy as of right now. If any other information comes out, I will blast it. But as of
I
right
know.
now,
And by the way, if they do it, I will take my L, but I will have criticism.
Yeah, for sure. But
because there's one reason to do it, and it's what I told you, I think, last week, and we'll get into it.
Yeah, but with Superman, I am kind of viewing it as the Batman, as in, like, he's got it figured out, but he's still figuring it out, and I think that's where a lot of people have to view this movie, and I think that should be reflected in his costume and in the way things are, and in the way he's getting beat up and all that stuff. So,
I think this is a little
I'm
different,
excited
though, because it's the first movie in a new universe. It's Superman, and like, I don't know, I just think a Superman suit is very important because he is the most iconic superhero, and I think a lot of it has to do with his suit. And I'm not trying to take away from Superman. Like, listen, I like Superman. I don't hate Superman. I like Superman. I read Superman comics. I enjoy Superman. He's just not my favorite, and he's not in my top 5. I don't know if he's in my top 10, but anyway, I think that the suit, other than the trunks and the boots, are pretty cool. And I don't think that anyone can honestly say that the Snyder suit isn't fire.
Can we get honest?
What?
Oh, God. I don't want to be negative, bro. But as a costume connoisseur, I have to say this right now. Oh, I did not.
Go for
it. I think this Superman suit is a little bit of James Gunn's ego.
I respect you for saying that, because I know those kinds of thoughts are in there, and I know they never make it out of your mouth. And that's the kind of commentary, bro. We got to keep it real with people.
Yeah. I've been thinking this for a while, and I've been trying to find a way to, because guys, like, the way that I am is like, I hate saying stuff without being able to articulate it, but who cares? This is a freaking podcast. Screw it. I do think this suit has some James Gunn ego, and I say that because I do find little similarities to some of the Guardian stuff. Like, I do, like, and I see what people are talking about, and a little bit of me is like, okay, like the yellow S on the back, I understand, but like, if you saw what's like, if you're saying you're taking inspiration from Snyder, why not take some of the stuff that worked? Like, when it comes to Superman, I love the tight suit where it's like almost like skin, like I'm just like with some of the suits, it feels like he's trying to create his own like
vision to be known for.
Yeah, is that his own touch and taste, instead of kind of taking, and look, I understand he took some new 52 with like the collar and stuff, but like, other than that, like, it looks like it's a James Gunn design suit. What I mean?
The biggest thing for me with the Superman suit is that it needs to make Superman look like royalty. The cape needs to drape over him like he's a king, similar to Thor. It's a red cape, and I think that the yellow S on the back, number one, takes away from that. Number two, the material, I think, is going to look good after post-production. I think the material is kind of cool, but like, I've always been like, I grew up, I don't even want to get into my personal life, but like, I'll just say I have a experienced taste when it comes to fashion. So like, I like some things that are edgy and unorthodox, and I kind of see the material that way. So that doesn't bother me. But I think that like the best things the suit has are the logo and the collar, but the boots and the trunks are bad. And when you look at the belt loops, it makes it look like the belt loops don't properly fit the belt. And because they don't, and they look like almost plastic, and it just doesn't look good.
Exactly. And that's where, and Jerry, and that's where this goes back to where like one thing that the MCU does well, bro, is those little rollouts, those little details. They will sell you. They will sell you on good costumes and good scenes, so you get in the theater. And and so I think, as I said, I think this is a big learning curve for James Gunn, and he just has to learn that. Like someone like Zack Snyder, he just understands. Like, oh my god, I sound like a Snyder cultist, and I'm not. But like,
He's
there's
a
just certain guys that have a knack for design. You know what I mean? Like, and that was Snyder's thing. I think James Gunn is a better, and I think James Gunn's strengths are more writing. I think James Gunn's strengths is more of is building scenes and actually making it come to life. And um I always go back to Black Panther has some of the best costumes, like as in like a cast that we've ever seen. The creativity of the Wakanda costumes were awesome, and so I do hope that maybe James Gunn needs to maybe filter out some of those costume ideas and designs to someone else that he can trust. Because that's kind of what Feige did for like all of his stuff. Maybe he needs someone like that. I don't know.
I also feel like it's very easy to be in that position and have a bunch of yes men around you. And you need people who are willing to be honest, and not everyone is. The other thing here, though, who had a perfect suit?
Who?
Iron Man in the first one. Perfect suit. And that was so important for that movie. I don't know. I think, and by the way, I think the suit is, I'm trying to come up with a way to articulate this, but what I don't, there sometimes certain conversations stem from things and it makes me dislike something else more. And when people started saying that we need a gray, blue, and yellow Batman suit, I was like, okay, this is a problem. Like that is, yes, we're getting a fantastical version of Batman, but that doesn't mean we need Batman in a goofy fucking costume, okay? And like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And it's not a comic book. It's not a cartoon drawing. He's going to be wearing this as a real person. And like sometimes a lot of people on Twitter, they don't think things through. They're just like, oh, we've never had it. We should do that. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I like the black and I think the black and gray suit would be like the perfect suit for the DCU. I'm still not opposed to an all black suit. I think there's a reason that like every serious Batman movie has been pretty much an all black suit, except for Snyder. And by the way, that Snyder colorway on the BVS suit, if they're going to do anything other than all black, it should be black and gray like that.
Yep.
And a lot of we haven't really seen a blue, at least to my knowledge, and I read pretty much everything. So we haven't seen a gray and blue Batman suit in a really long time. And I think there's a reason for that. I think that the DC Comics understands the aesthetics of today's world that they're selling comics to. And the guys that did the blue and yellow and like, maybe in the 2000s or 90s, like, I don't know. It's just, bro, that shit is not going to look good in a movie.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And, if you guys want to know more about costumes, Phil Saunders is the guy that's done all the Iron Man costume designs. And I advise you guys to follow him on Instagram because I'm pretty sure he did Captain America suits too. But he always posts his concept designs on Instagram and stuff. So follow him on Instagram. He always does that. But I will say this though, but Feige had Phil Saunders to lean on to do his concepts, and I wonder who he's using for the concept design. But it does seem like a James Gunn-esque design, and maybe that might be why. Because I don't really think his strengths are really design; it's more of the movie itself. But anyways, all in all, we are excited for Superman. Like we do have some concerns, but hopefully,
I'm super pumped for Superman. But I'm not gonna sit here and pretend everything is amazing because I'm not a yes man. Okay.
100%. And the reality is like, if that sacrifices us being to press runs, then it is how it is. Like, and because I do feel like a lot of guys in our space that get to go to these events, like some of them are so like yes men and they don't act like they don't say how they feel unless if the movie does bad. And I just don't think that's
it's like they're waiting for permission, to be honest with you. And that stuff is so corny. And there's too many of those.
Yeah.
And,
we're not going to do that. That's not who we are. Like, we're not going to sit here and wait until it's bad to trash something. Like, that's so, I mean, not even trash, but just to give an honest review. You know what I mean? So,